I'm going to use the color Skim, and with a fluffy brush, I'm using the Morphe M518. I'm going to lightly sweep that color all over my lid, all the way to the brow, lightly dusting to give my eyelid a very nice base for the rest of my eyeshadows. With the same brush, I'm going to go in and use Bailout. And this is a really nice transition shade. I'm just going to lightly sweep that over my upper crease just to begin deepening that crease and providing a nice sweeping motion. Now using my Urban Decay E209 tapered blending brush, I'm going to go in the Faith, and I'm going to take that color and sweep it along my crease, starting from the outside and sweeping gently inside just to provide a little bit of a darker shade into that very deep hollow of the crease. I'm just going to sweep it back and forth. Again, using a light hand. Using a light hand really helps with blending later on. I love this color. It's such a nice transition shade, especially when you're wanting to begin deepening your crease. Again, just sweeping that back and forth very lightly. Putting a little bit more pressure now so I can get a little bit more payoff. And see it darkening even more. Now, using the same brush, I'm going to go into the color Rebound. This is another pretty matte shade in this palette. Starting from the very outer corner, it's very pigmented, so you'll definitely want to start light and work your way. So I'm just tapping it, deepening up that crease even more, and providing some definition on the outer corner. Now that I have my mattes done, I'm going to go in back with my fluffy brush, and I'm going to go back in with Bailout and just start blending out the outside edges of the color for my crease. I'm just smoking it out and softening it up a bit. It's nice to do this as you build color. It really helps make it easier to blend it out as you go along. Now that it's nice and blended, I'm going to go back into the palette and move on to another pretty color. So I'm going to go into Double Up. This is a really pretty deep chocolate brown, perfect for defining that outer corner. I'm just going to tap a little bit of that color in there, really deepening up that outer V. Still using my Urban Decay tapered blending brush, E209. Using a flat brush, and this is my Morphe M167, I'm going to take that lighter colored chopper and just start smoothing out the edge where I put in Double Up. Now I'm taking that fluffy brush again and blending and blending and blending. Even though I didn't actually put chopper on my upper crease, I keep seeing the need to blend. I'm going to go back in a chopper and just lightly tap it right on the edge where I had the double up placement, and kind of spread it out across my lid. This is a really pretty, subtle, light caramel color. It's got a little bit of shimmer to it, and it blends so beautifully. Next, I'm going to go into Chopper now, and I'm going to tap it right on my lid using my finger. This is a really great technique if you are just not seeing the payoff that you want, especially after you've used a brush. Now you could wet a brush, but sometimes I find that using my finger really does the same job. So I'm just going to tap that in. Next, using my Morphe 506 brush, I'm going to go back in to Bailout, and I'm just going to soften my inner corner. I have some creases in my inner corner, just a little bit of a fine wrinkly area there, and sometimes I don't like to have too much of the shimmery shades settle into those creases, so I find that using a lighter matte shade really helps soften those up a bit. Going back in with that fluffy brush and softening those edges even more. It's almost a golden rule that you can never over blend sometimes with certain shadows. So if in doubt, always blend. Now I'm going to go in with my all over blend brush from Sigma. It's an E37 brush, and I'm just going to gently blend in the edges of those darker shades up into my upper crease and just soften my lid just a bit. This really helps blend the shades together. Now I'm going to go in with my Sigma. This is a shader crease brush. It's an E47, and I really love using this to get real tight into that inner crease, and I also really love it just as a detail brush, especially when you want to use it to darken little areas around the eye and the crease. Now I'm going to go in to pick up, using my finger, I'm going to tap it right on top of my lid. This is a transformer shade, and it has a little bit of a purple shift to it, but it's meant to really be a little bit of a wash of color. It really helps brighten up the lid. Now taking that shader crease brush again, I'm going to use it because I love how long and tapered and soft it is. I'm going to go into Vice. Now I'm going to apply it along my lower lash line, starting from the outer corner, gently sweeping just under my lashes. I like to go about halfway or about 2/3 of the way under my eye, just lightly adding a little bit of color. It's hard to see on the monitor the actual purple color, but it's a beautiful color. Now I'm going to go back in using Faith, and this is where I like to soften just below the lash line. This adds a little bit of a softer smoked out shadow effect, which I really love on my eyes. It helps actually open my eyes a bit. And bonus, it actually hides a couple of those wrinkles that are hiding under that shadow. It's another matte, so those mattes really are those creasing areas. It's the best friend for those areas. It really helps soften them up so that they're not as noticeable. And even if the shadow settles into those creases, you don't really see it. Going back in with that fluffy brush, my 518 from Morphe. Again, softening those edges. Have you noticed how much I have been blending in this video? Yay, now we're all set. Oh, I did forget my inner corner, so I'm going to take care of that with an Essence Smoky Eye brush. I love this little brush. I'm going to take a little bit of that Skimp, and I'm going to just tap it into my outer corner. Again, Skimp is not an entirely matte shade. It's got a very fine bit of sheen in it, but it is really nice for opening up and lightening the inner corner, as well as right underneath the brow bone. And this is a great brush to do that detailing with. Now I am going to go on and put on my lashes and liner. Love this palette. I love the packaging. I think this is a great value for what you get and how many looks you can create. And I think that if you are on the fence on whether or not to try one of these, there's 3 different options. So definitely pick which one that you feel more drawn to with the color palette, the color choices. You're going to get a really good payoff with these, very minimal fallout. They blend beautifully, and you're really going to be able to get a lot of different looks, really, regardless of which color, which palette color you go with. So definitely check those out. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today, and be sure to like the video with a thumbs up if you like it, and hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified of future videos. Thank you so much for stopping by, and remember, beauty doesn't age. You might, but your beauty doesn't. Thank you, everyone.